Now I gotta ride or die.
Before this video starts, a quick shout out to the owner of this Shogun, Aaron. He started a new company called Sentifuse, a USB in-car oil diffuser with a wide range of designer-inspired fragrances. Support him like he supported me in this video by clicking the link in the description or go to Sentifuse on Instagram to grab yours. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Now, for the sake of, you know, sub £2,000 you will pay for one of these. It is the multi-tool to have in, say, a fleet of cars. This could be a fantastic daily, and that's sort of the perspective as to why I'm taking this thing out. High mileage, cheap, dailyable, all-rounders tick all of the boxes to all people. I think anybody can get into one of these for any sum of money. Yes, you could get this high mileage one, say you're paying, you know, just over £1,000, maybe just under £2,000 for a car just like this one today. The mileage isn't necessarily reflecting as to how this thing drives. In fact, it actually drives very, very well. Mitsubishi, you know, the Japanese, in my opinion, definitely know how to make a car that lasts. I've driven a fair few cars, even Civic Type R's, over 100,000 miles with absolutely no problems whatsoever. This is a prime example of something that is just being used, being, you know, abused in some ways. It's been enjoyed, but it is holding together. This one, in the ownership of the person I've just picked it up from, shout out Aaron, he has enjoyed this thing. He's taken it off-roading. He is dailying this to the tip and, you know, throwing stuff in the back, and it is constantly starting every morning. It is doing the daily duties it was bought to do. And that is why you would have something like this for a couple of grand, say. You could pretty much do anything to this and it will still keep going. 154,000 miles. A lot of people out there are like, oh my God, there's so much for, you know, a 4x4 or for a Mitsubishi. I don't think it's that bad. You know, these are really based on the L200s. They've just, you know, got a back on them. They haven't got a pickup back. This means you get the sort of same amenities that you do in the L200, the same driving position as well. You're sort of a lot higher up than you would be in maybe other 4x4s of the same generation. This being a 2005 car actually means it's under the inflated tax bracket too. So you are paying, you know, about £300 a year to actually tax this thing. If you get a, you know, say 06, maybe 55 plate one, you're paying £500 a year. So that's one thing. If you're actually going to, you know, go ahead and buy one of these, try and get an 05 one, because the tax is cheaper. I do feel that these are sort of unsung heroes in a weird way. This one just starts every morning. It does the daily duties. You can throw anything in the back, and to be honest, driving it doesn't feel that bad. I know it sounds really silly, but you think, oh, it's a cheap, you know, car, you throw your stuff in it, but it's got leather seats. It's a really nice driving position. You've got loads of room in here. It's even got an armrest. You sort of think of you know, cheap cars to not really give you a lot, and this is the complete opposite end of the spectrum in the sense that it gives you so much. The gearbox is actually pretty tight, although in gear there's a lot of flop, but that's just a 4x4 thing. We don't worry about stuff like that. Foot down in second gear, revving right round, 4,000 RPM, 40 miles an hour. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's going to rip your face off whatsoever, but I do feel that, you know, daily duties and stuff, it's not really going to matter how fast it is. And in fact, if anything, the slower it is, the more MPG it does. Just means you're not going to put your foot down all the time and rinse all your diesel. Other things to point out, this is a Shogun Sport, a little bit of a more exquisite design, and I think if you've driven a lot of 4x4s, say, and you're sort of used to a 4x4 of this generation or something older, it doesn't necessarily drive like a newer aged car. It sort of drives a little bit old school, which is what I quite like. I must admit, for a high mileage car, it doesn't feel like it. The steering, although, you know, the car is a little bit wayward with how you go around the corner, it is incredibly direct. The clutch, although slightly higher, I think that's just down to the Mitsubishi trait of all of them, I'm convinced, being a little bit higher than they should be. Other than that, I genuinely am so shocked at how nice this high mileage car is. I do like dipping into high mileage cars on this channel. There's a lot of people out there that, you know, say you have a couple of grand to spend, will quite happily go and buy one of these, and I always want to see what it's like to actually go and drive one of those cars that you can get for a fraction of its cost new. This prime example is exactly why I do cars like this, though. It actually feels more expensive than it is. It's so comfortable in here. I think if you chucked it down a green lane, it would quite happily comply to your beatings on it very, very easily. And in fact, as a daily car, and if you want a 4x4, I don't see why you wouldn't put your family in it and stuff. It's, you know, got loads of space in here. But even if you did want to use it as a tip run car, it is so simple to whip them back seats down. You've pretty much got a van on your hands. So it is the car to all men, this. It is cheap, it is easy to get into. And I think, I was talking to the owner, relatively rare in white because it was a no-cost option. Not really too sure if that's true, but leave a comment below. If you do have one of these Shoguns, please leave any comments you have on reliability on these. I tried to look into it, and although, you know, some of the rocker seals I think seem to go, or engine related oil seals seem to go, and you drip a little bit of oil out, and the slight rust that you will get on the bodywork, the arches and stuff. Other than that, I genuinely can't find too much about these, but again, I might have not done too much research, so please, again, leave a comment below. But what are your thoughts? High mileage Mitsubishi Shogun Sport. Is it a winner? For a couple of grand, I think it is. Do you know what else is funny? The indicator's on the wrong side because it's Japanese. I haven't driven a Japanese car in a while. It's like, put the wipers on every single time. Every single time. So as a high mileage daily hero, I think this is an absolute peach for the money. Pretty indestructible, I would say. Easy to pick up on the market, so cheap to maintain, and I feel like these would go forever. And honestly, 154,000 miles, I don't think this thing is barely even running. It doesn't feel like it's wearing. It doesn't feel like a car with loads of miles on it, and that's really, really what it's all about when I drive cars like this. Does it feel like it's got that mileage? And I really cannot tell. If you blanked that mileage off, you would not have a clue. In fact, I've driven some pretty new 4x4s that feel pretty much identical to this one. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me what you think of the Shogun Sports, and I will see you all on the next one.